I hope they don't blow us off the water again. I don't know.
We trying to spread this positivity. You know how that go.
And that's the funny thing about it. Somebody is definitely because I had somebody go on log on through our account. They can log on, but I can't. So it's definitely somebody hitting it. Oh,
Yeah,
it's all good.
yeah.
I mean, I got so many different ways I can come on. They can't stop it for real. But we'll let them know. Before well, let me do this. Let me share to Facebook, and then when y'all start talking, ladies and gentlemen, I won't be ignoring my guests. I'm going to be producing. You know how it is to host and produce your own show. It's a little different. But what we're going to do, we're going to be on Not Necessarily Political. Then I'm going to shift it to my page and all that kind of thing. So, like, click, and share, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, we are trying to be great,
That's the
friends.
mission.
I'll just share it there. Yeah. Share it to a page you manage, not necessarily political. But how's it going, man? Katrina,
Yes.
I tell you what, we're gonna let you introduce today. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple of probably about a month or so ago, we done an interview with Miss Katrina Carey, and we was talking about her son who actually was murdered, and the police in Irondale wasn't doing a good enough job. So we got
Mhm.
involved and started trying to see what we can do. And that led to other conversations about how do we save the youth. And then I thought about it. All the videos I've seen, people talking about crime, they never included the youth. And so
Mhm.
I said, well, let's go back out and let's see what we can do. See what we can bring forth with it. And Miss Katrina brought me who, Miss Katrina?
Duran Dean, he is excellent, excellent source, I think, to be on the show to really shed some light on what we need to do, what the city needs. I'm
Mhm.
very passionate about it. As you know, I lost my son to gun violence at the hand of so-called friends. So he's really, really passionate, and we just need to hear what he has to say, and maybe we can come up with something to help put these guns down.
All right. And well, Duran, you wanna introduce yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Duran Dean. I grew up on the east side of Birmingham. I consider myself a successful entrepreneur. I am my thing, and what I want to do is share a message with Birmingham, and to everybody that we really have to stop the violence. We really have to try to find a way to connect with the youth, connect with the inner cities, and build strong relationships so that we can come up with solutions to these type of problems. So I think the first thing what we need to do is just really start building bonds. We need to get programs to where youth have summer jobs. It's just too many kids in the city of Birmingham that just running around with nothing to do, and that leads to a lot of other unnecessary things. I know a lot of mothers and just families out there now just are just so tired of the violence, unnecessary shootings. I mean, you can't even go to the park without somebody dying, and it's just time that everybody step in and just really put their heads together and really come up, from God and love. I think that's the first thing is implicating God that everybody just got to come together. We got to put these guns down. We got to work together to come to a solution. No one man has a solution. It's a collective thing. So it's me, young and speaking from the ghetto, the inner city. We have to find a way to come together, all of us. There's too many mothers out there that have lost their sons to gun violence, too much domestic violence. And we got to figure out ways to curb some of that negative energy.
All right. You mentioned you're a successful entrepreneur, but let's go
Yes,
back
sir.
and let's talk to the people who want to become or that feel they don't have a way out or feel they have to do whatever to do what it takes to survive. The ones who hungry right now. Let's talk to them for a second.
Hmm.
How do we talk to them, man? How do we open up the door to the people who saying, "Hey, man, it's all good. You driving around in this, but I'm trying to feed my little brothers, man, because my parents not home, or I'm just in a bad way. I just got out. I can't get a job because I'm labeled." And how do we talk to those people?
Well, first of all, I feel like those people have to take accountability where they at. You can't be afraid to ask for help, first of all. Everybody's going through different situations. You can't be afraid to ask for help. So what I would say is, you know, people have to understand that nobody can help you unless they understand or know what your need is. So the first thing, people who are in that situation have to seek the help. You can't just sit back and sit in your house or whatever and complain about nothing. You're not reaching out to nobody, expressing how you feel, or just even asking for help. Sometimes people have to put that pride to the side and understand, guess what? I don't know it all. God puts everybody in a position, or somebody in a position. All you have to do is seek it. So I think the first thing people need to do is actually seek the information of what they're trying to do.
All right, we suffered one of the highest murder rates last year. I mean, since the 90s. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
like 95. And this year, like that's the last time it was high, like it was last year, right? We
Mm-hmm.
did like 122. And
Mm-hmm.
right now we on the verge of going higher than that. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I think people see me when that mic, they know we can call me in. So I'm gonna get that person in a minute. How do we stop murders, man? Not crime. You know what I'm saying? How do we stop murders? Like, what do you see? What's your generation saying about the murders and stuff?
Well, to be honest with you, Mr. Lonnie, my generation is kind of lost. What from as far as from my eyes and what I see, they're kind of lost. There's a big disconnect. A lot of young brothers, they feel like they can't trust nobody. They have nobody they can talk to. So I think it's more about people stepping in and building these relationships. We got to take a step at a time. Nothing's gonna change overnight, but I think that if the necessary relationships are built, then and we put some, poverty will cause a lot of people to do a lot of things that they don't want to do. Sometimes people are in bad situations, and it's just because they're misguided. Not necessarily because they're a bad person. They're just misguided, and we got to just get information out here to where people can actually attend and come up with the solution. So direct gun violence, I feel like the laws as far as guns and different things like that, because it's so easy for a person to get a gun. You know, it's just so many factors that we just have to really look at as to why.
I put it on there when I'm done, okay?
You know, I I feel like California with their gun laws, you actually had to have 2 weeks of gun training in order to get a pistol permit. So I think I kind of like that idea, because I feel like a lot of these people, they get a gun in their hand, they don't know how to use a gun properly. They just go out here shooting. and they hitting innocent people, innocent children, and there's just one step that I see is taking a step forward. But my whole thing is just God and love. You know,
It's funny you say that, man. I've been saying a couple of things for years. One, I said they're not gonna be doing marriage license forever, right?
mhm.
And they got rid of them. Right now, you don't really need them, kind of thing. Then I said the NCAA, like college people, need to be paid.
Yeah, yeah,
They've been paid millions of dollars, and I always said, why is it that we can? You have to have a permit for about a year, or really, most of the people get their permits at 15 and drive till they 16, right? So you got a
mhm.
year of training before we just let you go. Why not with guns? You know what I'm saying? You can't really drink at
Exactly.
21. You know what I'm saying? Why not guns? Why not, like you just said, California? I didn't know that about California. Now I knew New York had strict gun laws. Like if you get caught with illegals, you 3 years. Now I believe that need to be implemented too. Only on illegal
Mhm.
guns. If you got a
Yeah,
legal gun, you don't need a gun. That's where I look at it. Now, if you
yeah,
got,
yeah. That's true.
if you can buy them, man, you can buy whatever you want. I know guys, man, probably got 100 guns. I don't say
Mhm,
nothing because they legal. But
mhm,
that's a good idea, man, that need to be implemented because somebody, I think it was a fireman, told me. They say, London, you know that most gunfire, when they shoot people, they shoot them in their butt or their leg
mhm.
from the back. That's how most people get shot on the streets. I'm like, well, that means they don't know how to shoot then. You know,
Exactly.
and so 2 weeks of training, I shoot. I say, man, about 2 months to be honest.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, that's just one way of I feel like that would kind of curve it, make people more responsible, make people more, think about their actions before they do it. Because a lot of people are just hurt, they're just angry, they're frustrated, and then they don't know how to take their frustration out. So sometimes, people turn to guns to take their frustration out. We just need to find ways where, okay, if you're frustrated, you're angry, somebody you can talk to, somebody who you can, like I said, I want to emphasize on this show is love, pure love, because love conquers all. Even from the worst of the worst, love conquers all. So, we got to put the love back into the community. We got to first start loving ourselves, and loving our brothers. Quit hating all this hating and all this jealousy, because the opportunities is out here for everybody,
Yeah.
and we got to just come together. Somebody got to take a stand, and don't be afraid to show love. You know, love is just so powerful, and it can conquer a lot. And that's what we got to put back out here: real love, not fake love, not saying, oh, I love you because I want your vote, but I'm talking about real love. Mothers have to come together, and stress to the younger brothers, like to me, and the ones that's up under me. We got to put these guns down. There's too many mamas. It's just been too much going on, and we got to start healing and rebuilding.
Man, I want to go back to your comment about the loss. And our generation, Katrina and I are probably more Generation X, right?
Right.
We was the last generation that was brought up on like stressing two parent homes, college. The only thing I hate about our generation, we had to be doctors, lawyers, engineers. They didn't teach us about plumbing and electrical. You know what I'm saying? Jobs that was trades. Man, we view to realize now we could have been millionaires in our generation, but we had to be. You know what I'm saying? They were like, y'all need to be this, or they really matter.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, now I want you to realize we all had issues too. Now we figured we were gonna lose some generations because we saw it, right? The baby boomers have always had control all our lives, which is our parents and grandparents. Then the millennials came, and we're the generation that they skipped, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're y'all parents and grandparents. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
they don't want to listen to us because we're old enough to understand the boomers and young enough to be around the millennials.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But we're the generation they don't listen to. Who was that? Marvin Gaye. What's going on? You got songs all throughout history about killings and different things like that, man. We was there when NWA started, so we was there
Mm-hmm.
before the big gang bust back in the 90s when colors were like late 80s, something like that, I think early 90s. But we saw the ramifications of when gangs got big in Birmingham. They died
Mm-hmm.
back out, but it was one point when we were young. I know Disciples and Crips were big. Now it's Blood's going around now, but everybody got information that we could use. You see what I'm saying? It makes no sense to me to where we can't come to you and talk, or you can't go and talk to my kids. You get what I'm saying? We got to be able to bring the community back. Lost is only a lack of communication, man.
Mm-hmm. I
Because
agree.
if
Right.
we sit down and
Hey, when we were
tell
growing up,
people,
we got whooped by everybody in the neighborhood. Now these days, you can't even say anything to children. Sometimes you can't even talk to the parents because they act just as bad as the children.
Yeah.
So,
one of the things we want to do is we want to show you, like on NNP, man, and I say this and I'm going to keep saying it. One of the things we were created for was to engage the people, control our narrative, and empower the people, right? It got to come to a point to where, as a community, one, we got to take ownership of our mess.
right,
Mm-hmm.
I say acknowledge, accept, and change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledge what's going on, accept it, and make some changes. That's what we want to do today, man. Look, I'm 47. Again, I'm young enough, I understand what you all are going through, but I told somebody, man, Barack Obama couldn't touch those brothers on the street corner that's busting a sad.
Mm-hmm.
Too much of a gap there. And I'm not trying to be funny, but there comes a time to where when you're moving forward, some of the stuff you leaving behind you're not as familiar with. So you got to go
Yeah,
back
and
and
that's
get
that's
something
true.
familiar. So if you was in front of 100 young black men today, what would you tell them about life? And you can go any direction you want to go with it.
I mean, I would tell them that first of all, slow down. You know, everything don't have to be in a rush. I see everybody's in a rush, I'm in a rush to shine, but nothing great comes overnight. You know, when you work hard for something, it's just gonna make the reward feel, just that much greater. So the first thing I would say is slow down and know that you have time, to put your plans together, let them develop, you know, make sure whatever you're doing, this is what you want to do and that you're dedicated and passionate about. That's the first thing I would say because I see everybody in a rush. I want to go get the bag. I gotta get the bags. But nobody want to take the time to actually study how to get the bag and get it efficiently. So my thing is slow down, take your time and prepare for what it is that you're trying to do. That's the first thing. The second thing I would say is um, learn how to network. Making connections with people is just so powerful. And I see that a lot of people, they don't know how to network. I would like to see more networking events in the city to where people can come out, promote their brands because we're living in a social media time now where, I mean, you can literally get rich if you know the right people to promote your brand.
right,
So, I think that we got to learn how to network with each other instead of hating. If somebody else is doing better than you, commend them. Don't hate on them. Commend them. See, can you get up on them? See, are they willing to give you some information to help you out? You know, we gotta help each other out. You know, that's that way everybody around the table eats. Because if everybody's eating, then it's really there's no cause for violence. I don't see nobody when their stomach is full, the first thing they want to do is pick up a gun. When their stomach is full, they want to go to sleep. So, you know, I just think that we have to just figure out ways, and I mean everybody, you know, not just you, not just me. I mean everybody has to come in and step in and toss around ideas. There's so many people, and then another thing, a lot of people are afraid to speak up. We need people speaking up because all these collective ideas, that's how we're gonna find a solution. I might not have a solution. You may have the solution, or another person might have that solution. But if they don't speak up, then how will we know?
Man, I remember I was first trying to get into politics, right? And you hear politics is dirty. They gonna try to use anything against you, and we got comments on YouTube, but no, I they was trying to make fun of me, right? It was going through City Hall. You know, Lonnie Malone only has his GED.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm a little different, man. I tell you in a second, you try to talk about me, I'll make a fat beat and rap over it. You know what I'm saying? You don't hold my past against me, right? You just can't
Mm-hmm.
do it. Like, it's hard to embarrass me. You embarrass me more by complimenting me. You know what I'm saying? Because as a guy, you know what I'm saying? He's like,
Yeah.
like talking about my what I used to do, that I get down with you and sit with you and talk, right? Oh, he only got his GED, this and that. And I said, you know what? So I sat down and wrote my story out. You know what I'm saying? I got my GED because it wasn't that I couldn't do schoolwork, it's because my father passed. And at the
Mm-hmm.
time, that was the second closest person to me because my great great grandmother passed some years ago. But I was young, you know what I'm saying? I had that family around. When my dad passed, I was like 15,
Mm-hmm.
just becoming a young man. And I didn't know how to handle that, man. So I started rebelling. I still had that family structure, but I was older. You know, that testosterone was in you. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through these emotions that like a normal teenager, but to add that on to it, I'm talking about somebody I talk to every day. I sat down and said, man, yeah, I rebelled. I left Christianity. I rebelled, man. I was in the streets hard. And I'm like, okay. But then I went back and my mom called me with one simple phone call. She said, Lonnie, you realize you'll be my only child. Now it's 8 of us. And I hate to use this term stepbrothers, but I got 5 brothers, 3 stepbrothers. But man, we've been together since I was in second grade. So we don't do the step stuff, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
8 of us. Now I had uncles, man, 2, 3 uncles. And Trina knew all of us, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We was all together. And I'm like, man, they try to talk and do this and that, but my mom said, Lonnie, do you realize you my only child that don't have a high school diploma? And I sat on the side of the bed, man, and I said, you right. You get what I'm saying? I guess it was
Mm-hmm.
God's timing. Because again, remember, I had said I had left God alone, but I still, even though I left him alone, I still knew him because I grew up with church. So it ain't like you can just lose it. But it was like
Right.
God always had his hand up. Man, I had every gun you can imagine. My
Mm-hmm.
brother was in the Marine. Well, Marines are always Marines. He saw one of my guns. He said, hey, man, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? They had to have a family meeting on me, man, because I had got so far out there, like you would walk across the street. That's why I say control our narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And I got up and called the GED people. They said, I tell people all the time, I even put it on Facebook today, and some people didn't really understand what I was saying. Was I said I'm the architect of my future, creator of my past, and my Jesus is black. That means that I design my future. I sit down with God and design where I want to go, and I accept what comes from it. My past, I accept that because what the past gonna do? It should not stop your future. That's why it's in the past. When I say my
Definitely
Jesus is
should.
black, that means my faith is different, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I believe in what God has bestowed upon me to do. So I called the GED and I said, I want to take the class. I mean, I want to take the test. They said, you don't want to study this and that? I said, no, I'm going to go off faith. And I think it was the very next week I was able to take the test and went and took the test and passed it. Told my mom, man, once I got the results, then I found out I had a little girl coming. So I saw manhood coming at me like full force. You know what I'm saying? I said, well, I got to go to school. I called two schools. I called Herzing and Lawson. Lawson never called me back. I was going to be a nurse or an IT guy. Herzing called me back, and I've been going ever since. I chose something that I knew that I needed something quick. I couldn't go to a traditional 4-year because I had now responsibilities. But it was something that my dad imparted in me, man, or put in me that as a man, he always said you need to take care of your responsibilities. You get what I'm saying? That's why I said we got to have this self accountability as well, because my mom was right. Out of 8 boys, I would have been the only one who didn't have a high school diploma. And not like I said, most kids, man, are not smart enough to where they can't. Where they not. I don't want to say dumb. They not. Kids are brilliant.
Yeah, they are.
They know everything.
And we just got to get them to the point to where they learn different. I got 3 boys. They learn different. You see what I'm saying? We'll put these kids in these places, man, and be like, oh, they can't learn. You hear these stories all the time. If I come up to you, you say you a successful entrepreneur. I want you to prove it, right? But you got the track record to what you've been doing. You go out there and talk to them. So you met me. Now let's go out there and meet these brothers who ready to give it up, who don't mind going to jail, or at least they don't think they do. Because I tell there's a lot of wet pillows in jail, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't care how hard you is, how gangster a person think they is. That's one place you do not just want to be, man. It's not cool at all. There's nothing cool about jail, and like I said, I've back in my teenage years, I've had my dealings with incarceration and stuff like that. And, I used to sit back and say, okay, this brother here, he wouldn't work on the street, but he'll come in here and be a 10-cell worker. Why you couldn't do that out there, but you'll come in here and work. So, just being real, it's a mind state. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people just have a backwards mind state. And, we just got to start correcting the way we thinking. We got to correct the way we eat. You see what I'm saying? A lot of things that we feed ourselves is not healthy and not good for our brain. And we need our brains to be able to function right to it in order to give and receive information.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are having a conversation with Duran Dean and Miss Katrina Carey. I'm reading some of the comments on YouTube. Click. We're on YouTube because something is going on with Facebook. But again, we just move when obstacles come in the way. We just step around them. So we're on YouTube today, ladies and gentlemen. Click, and share us. Let's grow our page. Maybe it's meant for me now to start growing YouTube. It's been on my mind for about a year, but I still been with Facebook. So maybe it's time now. So click, and share us on YouTube. The youth need something to do, especially during the summer. You remember when we were growing up, they used to have, I think it was Fox 6 jobs.
Right. I think some of them still have those programs too. Fox 6 do still have a summer program, but we need to get it out to our youth how to sign up for these programs, because you don't see it just advertised, but they do still have these programs in place. It's just not advertised. And I don't want to say, put it out there, but in the Black communities, we don't see this advertised. So the youth don't know about these programs. We need to inform them of these programs. Like literacy programs, our youth lack so many different things that programs can be put into place. We even have some adults that, can benefit from some of these programs. They just need to know who to reach out to and how to get involved in these programs to better themselves.
So what you
I
think about
agree.
that, bro?
I agree. I feel like, the information need to be put in their face, just as well as anything else is advertised. It need to be advertised and put in their face. We got to start with these kids. We got to get these kids something to do. People shouldn't have to book hotel rooms and stuff like that just to take their kids swimming. We need to bring things to the community that bring people together. And I understand, like what you said about, the city is afraid because every time something happens, it gets shot up,
Right.
and that's what we want to stop. But we gotta start bringing the community together. We gotta start somewhere. We can't shut everything down because guess what? Shutting everything down, look, it's just still more and more violent. So, I think people have to hold themselves accountable and bring these programs to where the community actually comes together. And that's how we're gonna curb some of this. Like I said, love, real love. Some of these brothers that's out here on the street, they don't even know what love is. They don't even know when somebody is caring for them. They don't know the difference. So, and another thing too is mental health. A lot of people just really need mental health evaluation, even if they seem like they are okay, because a lot of us just don't know how to deal with the trauma. So we try to bury it because life is going so fast. We try to bury it, but really that trauma is what's holding a lot of people back, or that trauma turns into anger and it makes them do something stupid.
Right.
They in the end they end up regretting it. So, I think we got to learn how to deal with hurt. We got to learn how to deal with pain and figure out ways to heal. And, the people need to know that it's somebody out there that actually care about how they actually feel and what they're going through.
All right, man. I'm not gonna hold you much longer today, but I definitely want to come back, man. If we can do a couple of Saturdays, maybe two more Saturdays, and I want to design it in the way where we talk about it. Like I say, one day we're gonna talk about mental health. One
Mm-hmm.
day we'll talk about. You get what I'm saying? It'll be
Yeah,
specific
got you.
to talk about. Today, I just kind of wanted to introduce you to my audience, man, and bring some stuff out because, as not necessarily political, we are somewhat of a political show, but our main thing is an information business, right? That's what I'm
Got
all
you.
Right.
in information, and but it got to be positive, right?
Got you.
I tell people all the time, man, I can have something like right now. There's some people who are about two or three people who are destroying my name, right? Trying to anyway. I don't even acknowledge it. I know they're doing it. You get what I'm saying? But sometimes I just overlook it. You get what I'm overlooking it for a reason because I guess stepping into the world. One time, this politician told me, the higher you go up the flagpole, the more your butt shows. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Meaning that people see more, they're gonna do more, they're gonna do this and this, and I said I get that. Then I had one of my mentors one time told me, he said, Lonnie, you're an eagle. Stop flying with the chickens. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He didn't say pigeons. He even took it lower to the chickens. Chickens can't fly.
Mm-hmm. I was just gonna
Right.
say chickens can't fly.
You know what I'm saying? So what he was saying was he sees something in me, and that's what I want to start talking to these people because one of the things about it, we're getting ready to leave politics. It just so happened to be political season. 21, 22, your political season. So we're gonna we're gonna interview some people, but we're going more toward mental health. And one of the things we're gonna do is called Men Talk Health, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
mental health, but you had a little dash K or whatever the logo person creates. I'm getting a logo created, but the show, man, is gonna be about mental health. We're gonna sit down and like you, Duran, right? We'll say depressed Duran. We're gonna make actual people out of this, like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
depression hits everybody, you know,
Everybody.
Right. Everybody.
anxiety, Andy, whatever it is, you know, people anxiety, man, it can shut you down. You get what I'm
Yeah, we really can.
saying, man? All of these different emotions and stuff, we're gonna sit down and have real conversations because one of the strongest people I know, man, woke up one morning and said, man, I had an anxiety attack so bad I had to go do this, this, and this, and it went on for some time. And they didn't know where it came from. You know what I'm saying? But as
Mhm,
black people, most of the time we don't know. We be holding it
mhm.
in and or fear like, you know, man, I gotta take care of this. Like I tell people, man, dads, I saw this meme on how dads saw they were saying that on the outside dads look calm, but on the inside they going through all these, and that's true.
And that's very true.
So, like I said, I want to get with you. Let's talk about that. Definitely mental health, because I believe that a lot of these things going on, even when we were doing the shooting back in the days, a lot of that stuff, man, because we didn't have people that can sit down with us and talk to us and be the OGs that we needed. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time,
Exactly.
our generation went to jail. We the ones who Biden put in jail. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
we got to get out there because crime is happening, man. Murder is happening too much in our thing. But tell the people how they can. I tell you what, man. Before you go, tell the people what you do, some of the things you do for business wise, so maybe and how they can reach you
Um,
if they want to
for
support.
biz, for business wise, I do event promotion. I'm actually just getting into real estate right now. I'm buying houses, fixing them up, and trying to rent them out and stuff like that. Me and my friend, we also have a bully line, GLMF bullies, just different things to where we can control our time and control our own money, you know. So you can reach me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, OG Gutter. You can check me out right there. Instagram, OG Gutter 205. You can connect with me on there. I'm on Clubhouse. Everything is OG Gutter. You can on all social media platforms, and yeah, you know, you can link with me on there, and if it's about something positive or anything that help out with the community, I'm always willing to do that.
All right, and if you let's say next time, man, if you know anybody you want to bring on, the less I talk, the better I feel. So if you want to bring some people on, let's reach out to you, some of your friends, and we're gonna have these conversations, man. Because tell them they're in a safe place. They can talk about how they want. They can say what they want to say. I mean, literally, if every other word is a cuss word, I'd rather have them saying that than we over there casket. You know what I mean?
Got you,
We
Right,
got you.
because we have to stop judging, in order to connect with the youth, and I connect with a lot. The guys love me, Duran, that's my baby. We gotta be able to, as Christians, you gotta be able to love, live, and lead for any generation. It doesn't matter what they're into. They're somebody's child. They are loved. So you gotta treat them. Hey, they listen to the rap music. Hey, I listen to the rap music. I
Mhm.
might not agree with all the words, but you gotta be
Yeah,
able to atone to what the generation is into. You can't connect with someone if you're not willing to listen or be a part or even recognize what they're going through. If you can't listen to the language that they're speaking, you're not going to be able to connect with that generation. You got to be open-minded to be able to
mhm.
connect, because if they feel like you can't connect with them, they're going to continue to do what they're doing because they feel like you don't understand
Nobody,
them.
yeah, yeah. Nobody understands.
Well, like I said, man, we're gonna get back together like hopefully next Saturday or something. Again, 30 minutes, man, breaking in, and I want to get to the point to where people are looking for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because again, we look for the youth or we look for stopping the violence, but we're not talking to the people who commit them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When you shoot guns in the daytime, you're not scared of the police anymore.
Exactly.
When
Mhm.
we did it, we didn't shoot guns in the daytime. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
don't even think we could even imagine shooting guns in the daytime, killing. Everything was done in the dark.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's work it out, man. Like I said, not necessarily political across the platform, except on Twitter. It's necessarily not, but on YouTube, not necessarily political. Like, click, and share. We're gonna try to build up this. Literally, this is how transparent, man. And we got 30, 33 subscribers. That's how much. And I've had this business open since 2017. So it might be meant for me to start hitting on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And other platforms,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and all them. So we really reveal. One of my friends told me, he said, "Man, Lonnie, you are the place to go to for basically to say what you want to say. Just got to get some young people out there." And I thought about it. I said, "You're right." And then you and I had already, we already talked before. This, one of my other friends just said this week, so I listen, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not the one to want to be in front of the
Mm-hmm.
camera. So the less I can be in front of the camera and more in the background, man, I'm happy. So I'm really looking forward to these conversations, man. And the more we talk, if we need to get other people on, politicians, I don't think there's not one politician that won't come on and talk about the gun violence with the youth. You know what I'm saying? So we may have one of the mayor candidates pop on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if one will pop on with us next week.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that
That
would be
way we can
great because
really.
they
And that
need
would be
to
that
know.
definitely would be great.
Yeah, they
I
need
tell
to
you
know
what.
these things.
I tell you what. Normally I don't guarantee nothing, and I don't know. So I'm gonna work hard to get it, but I'm gonna guarantee you we're gonna have one on Saturday.
Okay.
Let's do Saturday 10 o'clock, and let's have one on.
Gotcha.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah,
great.
we'll work it out, man. But like I said, man. Again, give your information out, Katrina. We'll get you in a second, but give your information out again, Rent. Let me
Uh,
reach out to you.
um, you can reach me on all platforms at OG Gutter. Just type in OG Gutter. You can even Google me, and you should be able to pull up all my social medias and follow me. Inbox me. Like I said, if there's anything help the community or be a part of to help somebody, then definitely reach out to me because I do want to change the narrative and I want to be one of those people that just doesn't sit in the background anymore. I do actually want to step up and speak up and just pour my heart out and my mind and my thoughts and just see what we can come up with.
Hey, he got some bullets for you, y'all. I seen some of them pictures.
Uh, look,
I
I'm
said
still looking for
sometimes,
that $600 one.
hey, I said sometimes you gotta ask for permission. You gotta ask for how they say it. You gotta ask for forgiveness instead of permission. I looked at that thing. I said, "Boy, I was about to hit PayPal on that."
They are beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
But Trina, I know that you've been going through some things. Has your story picked up with the police? Anything happened?
It's picking up some, so we're being hopeful, sticking to faith. So there
And,
is, yeah, we do have some movement.
and what's going on with Katrina, ladies and gentlemen? Her son was actually murdered about 2 years ago, and not much action was going on, but she has been picking it up. One thing about a mother, I don't think they'll ever give up on their children, no matter what they say. I don't think they ever will because But she went back out and now she's getting traction again. If you know anything about her case, what's his name, Katrina?
Derek Marks Jr.
If you know anything about Derek Marcus Jr. murder that happened over in Irondale about 2 years ago, speak up. You know what I'm saying? Do it anonymously if you can. Just however you can get the information out. No matter how small you think it is, that might be the turning point. You know what I'm saying? They even made movies about. I think Denzel got one out called "The Little Things" or something like that. You
Right.
know what would cause a case to flip another way and help. So reach out to Katrina, but not necessarily political across the social media for us. Like, click, and share on YouTube. I think we're going to be hitting that for a minute. Facebook actually got me blocked, but my team can still post. So it's something. I know somebody has been trying to break in my account for about a month or so now. So maybe they're just trying to protect me. I don't know. But right now, like, click, and share. You can reach us on Not Necessarily Political across the social media, except for Twitter at Necessarily Not. Duran and brother, I really enjoyed this conversation. I wanted to go longer, but I want us to I want to keep everybody's attention. Next week, we'll talk about either, gun violence or mental health, whichever one, you and I get together and feel that is need.
Yes,
But we
sir.
bring on some people, man. Uh, I'll be glad that I can just sit here and listen. That's what I'm looking forward to. Getting to the point to where I can
Gotcha.
just
And I definitely be reaching out to a couple brothers and try to get them on here so you can hear just different perspective, different minds. So I definitely will be reaching out to people and seeing who would want to join the cause and support something positive. And we got, like I said, we got to start somewhere. And I feel like you doing this show is a great start because you're gonna actually connect with the people. So I'm in all support of what you're doing.
all right, man. Lonnie Malone show powered by NNP. And I joke with people, but I'm serious when I said Lonnie Malone show the most boring podcast ever created. I said it, so you can say it too. I saw this movie, Pitch Perfect, and the girl called herself Fat Amy. She said, She said, yeah, I call myself Fat Amy, so y'all don't have to do it behind my back. But ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, I'm gonna definitely have a mayor candidate on next week. I'm gonna reach out to every one of them. We may have one, we may have two or three, but I'm giving them an opportunity to speak to the youth, man. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Whichever
Yeah,
one take it, it's not nothing about supporting this one over this one. We giving them opportunities. They want to, because I have yet to see one of them openly talk to the youth. And here's your chance. So I'm looking forward.
exactly.
And again, the comment next week now, the show next week don't have to be quick. If it's good and we talking, man, we can talk long as we want. So have you guys, your friends come on, whichever one come on. But I really appreciate y'all. Katrina, I
Appreciate
thank
you
you for
too.
your help, bro. I thank Duran. I think what coming on sharing with us, and I look forward to it. But later next week, 10 p.m. I'm sorry, 10 a.m. Central Time. We will be back and we'll be talking again. And I look forward to it, man. I'm excited. I really
yes.
am
Yeah.
excited, man, because I think we're gonna make some changes. I think this could be
I
literally.
think so too. It feels good. It feels right. Like you said, you gapping that bridge right there to, like you said, the youth, letting them speak their mind and letting them speak to people that they normally would talk to on a daily basis. So it's definitely a good thing. It's definitely something that's headed in the right
If
direction.
you know any 18-year-olds and 20-something-year-olds, man, reach out to them. We would love to hear from them, man, and we'll go from there. But see you next week, ladies.